The night opens like a slow curtain, revealing the silhouette of an ancient mountain range resting beneath a deep indigo sky. The camera of your mind drifts in from a distance, a soft cinematic pan across valleys filled with silver mist, each cloud moving as if obeying an older rhythm than weather alone. At this hour, the world feels hollowed out of noise. Even the wind travels gently, brushing the stone faces of mountains that learned to breathe long before human memory existed. A softer revelation waits just ahead, but for now, you simply linger in this first quiet frame, letting the earth's slow breathing settle into the spaces inside you. The mountains are not awake. They are not asleep. They exist in a third state, a kind of ancient resting consciousness shaped by the physics of time itself. As your perspective glides closer, the peaks begin to glow in a faint blue twilight gradient, as if starlight has soaked into the stone for centuries and now gently leaks back into the air. There is no rush. Slow is the native speed of giants, and tonight you are invited to fall into that same slowness. A soft dissolve shifts your viewpoint to the base of one of these giants. The lens tilts upward, and the rock face rises like a cathedral wall, textured with shadow history and quietness. Every line cut into the granite is a memory of pressure. Every curve is a fossilized ripple of continents drifting like silent rafts across a molten sea. This is relaxing science, not because it is simple, but because it allows you to fall asleep to science by moving at the pace of deep time, where understanding arrives like breath instead of impact. The narration grows quieter, like a cosmic lullaby, humming just beneath the words. In another story, we drift through forests or oceans. But tonight, our path climbs gently into the realm of mountains, Earth's slow guardians, the giants that learned to rest. They rise not from violence in this dream, but from a tender choreography of plate motion, each collision softened by the lens of time-lapse. You can almost see it, continents approaching each other, not like enemies, but like dancers, their touch shaping the world into waves of stone. The mountains exhale. You feel it more than hear it, that distant, low-frequency rumble, like the echo of an earth heartbeat hidden beneath layers of soil and memory. It is the sound design of the planet itself, a deep drone stitched into the fabric of its geology. Some part of your mind recognizes it instinctively. Perhaps this is why people long to sleep in nature. Why the mind is a night sky that calms when surrounded by older things. The presence of a mountain reminds the nervous system how small stress really is compared to the spine of the planet. A gentle macro zoom brings you closer to the rock surface. Here the story becomes smaller, yet more cosmic. A single grain of minerals lies embedded in the stone, illuminated by a faint golden reflection. This grain began as volcanic glass. Before that, it was molten. Before that, part of an undersea crust. Before that, part of a mantle, plume rising from below. Everything you touch, everything you see, has been many things before this moment. Dreamy science reveals the universe hiding inside the ordinary, and even the smallest speck carries the memory of ancient fire. As the camera rotates around this grain, something beautiful happens. The rock glows softly, shifting into a palette of deep violet and warm amber colors chosen by the universe long before human eyes learned to see them. The emotional physics of the moment gently pull you inward. Violet for mystery, amber for safety, blue for rest. The mountains do not demand your attention. They welcome your presence like an old friend guiding you deeper into the dream. A slow, nearly imperceptible pan reveals a valley carved by glaciers thousands of years ago. You see the arc of its curve, the way ice once moved like a patient river, sculpting the bones of the earth. There is no need to rush this understanding. The valley teaches one simple truth. Even the strongest forces in nature work gently when given enough time. This is nature for sleep knowledge, softened by the quiet edges of night facts, turning into lullabies, science drifting like snowflakes across a calm mind. The scene shifts again, a soft dream cut sliding you forward in time. The mountains are older now, their peaks rounded by wind and rain. They look gentler, almost contemplative. Giants that once roared with tectonic fire now bow their heads beneath the sky, worn smooth by the patience of weather. The earth teaches a secret here. Strength is not in resisting erosion, but in allowing it. Every mountain eventually learns to rest. And somehow, that truth settles into your chest like warm light. A feather-light anticipation cue glows at the edge of the narrative. Another layer of the universe is about to unfold. But not yet. First, you breathe with the mountains. Slow, deep, grounded. They have waited millions of years. They can wait with you for a few more moments. As the moon rises over the range, its silver reflection glides across the stone like a liquid ribbon. Shadows lengthen. time dissolves. Your thoughts begin to move like drifting clouds, each one passing, without urgency, without weight. This is sleepy science narration, where learning happens the way rivers carve valleys, through gentle repetition, through presence, through calm. A soft wind slides through the scene, carrying fragments of quartz dust and ancient memory. You feel the coolness on your skin, even though it is only imagined. But this is the magic of cinematic science. The mind treats every detail as real. The mountains glow under the moonlight, their edges softened, like they too are falling asleep. In the distance, a single star flickers behind a thin veil of cloud. As the lens slowly pushes toward it, you sense the story widening into cosmic territory. The mountains are part of something larger, a pattern that stretches across galaxies. And gently, silently, the universe invites you forward. A softer revelation waits just ahead. The frame opens with a quiet shift into pre-dawn blue, the kind of color that feels like it exists before sound itself. The mountains lie in silhouette, darker than the sky, yet softer than shadow, their shapes rising like the slow thoughts of the earth. A gentle camera drift begins a floating movement that feels like gliding just above the cold ground, the mist brushing against your view like pale smoke. Somewhere in the distance, a subtle amber glow hints at the coming of light. But for now, the world remains suspended in a calm that only ancient landscapes can hold. Stay close to this moment. Another layer of the universe is beginning to unfold. A low rumble enters the space, almost unheard, almost imagined. It is not thunder, not wind, but the sub-bass resonance of continents adjusting their weight. Mountains, despite their stillness, are never entirely still. They breathe in tectonic time, rising and sinking, in motions too slow for a lifetime to witness, yet too constant for the planet to ignore. Relaxing science begins here in this paradox. The Earth is restless, and yet its restlessness is the very thing that feels calming to the human mind. To fall asleep to science is to sync with rhythms older than anxiety. A soft dolly in brings your attention to a ridge where jagged stones catch the faint glimmer of the moon. The rocks look frozen, but their formation was anything but. You can almost see the flashback molten rivers of magma cooling into crystalline plates, then fractured by cooling, then uplifted by the collision of titanic crustal slabs. The scene cuts into a dreamlike time lapse, millions of years compressed into glowing motion. Mountains rise like slow breaths, then pause, then continue rising. Valleys deepen. Ice chisels spires. Water carves signatures. Even in the world of dreams, geological time is patient. The camera emerges from the time lapse into the present moment again, and the mountains feel different now. Not just shapes, but stories written in stone. The emotional physics of the scene deepen, turning each peak into a reflection of something inside you. Tall and worn, enduring and surrendered. The mountains learned to rest not by resisting pressure, but by accepting its slow shaping. And perhaps some part of you is learning the same truth just by being here with them. A whisper of snow begins to fall one flake at a time, drifting sideways in a gentle crosswind. Each flake reflects moonlight shimmering with tiny prisms that scatter pale violet and soft gold. The camera zooms in macro close to reveal the crystalline geometry, six-sided, perfectly symmetrical. A frozen flower designed by temperature and silence. Dreamy science emerges again. Within every snowflake lies a record of humidity, altitude, and air currents. The mountain holds 1,000,000 such records, each one a quiet archive of the sky. Nature for sleep is often just this science softened by awe. As the snow thickens, the scene becomes quieter. Sound dampens, edges blur. The mountains seem even more at peace. The story pulls you into theta wave pacing, that slow neural rhythm associated with drifting, floating the in-between space, where thoughts loosen and breathing deepens. A soft dissolve shifts the view to a high plateau, where enormous boulders rest like silent guardians. Their surfaces are streaked with mineral veins, quartz, feldspar, mica, glinting faintly beneath the snow. Each mineral forms under precise conditions of heat and pressure, and each carries its own memory of the deep earth. To touch a mountain is to touch something that once glowed with fire. A dream cut sweeps upward toward the sky, where the first hint of dawn begins to paint the horizon. The gradient shifts from indigo to pale blue, then to a soft golden shimmer that seems to spill across the peaks. The mountains catch the light like ancient mirrors, their slopes warming in slow motion. A low, warm drone enters the soundtrack of your imagination, like a single note held beneath the dawn, vibrating gently through the valley. It is the earth's hum, blending with the coming day. You drift through a narrow ravine carved by a river that long ago abandoned its channel. The walls rise steep and tall on both sides, striated with layers of sediment, tan rust, charcoal, ivory. These layers are pages of a book written over epochs. Some layers were once beaches, others ancient forests, others the ash of forgotten volcanoes. You slide your attention across them like reading a story with your fingertips. Sleepy science narration becomes almost tactile here. Every color, every line feels like a whisper from the planet itself. A soft anticipation cue appears again, humming beneath the moment stay with the quiet, glowing edge of this unfolding. Something deeper waits beyond the next dissolve. A slow time lapse begins as the sun lifts higher. Shadows contract. Frost melts. The snow on the peaks becomes liquid light, cascading down rock faces in shimmering threads. You can almost feel the temperature rising. The mountains exhale again, a warm thermal sigh rising from the dark stone beneath the surface. Thermal glow cinematics tint the rocks in gold and copper, giving the whole landscape a divine warmth. The camera glides across the crest of a ridge, revealing a small alpine lake, perfectly still, perfectly round, reflecting the sky like a polished mirror. The surface holds the reflection of mountains that look taller in water than in air. A subtle breeze brushes the lake, distorting the reflection just slightly, and the mountains seem to ripple. It is a reminder that even giants have soft edges when touched gently. You drift lower, closer to the lake's edge. Beneath the water, stones lie smoothed by thousands of winters, each one shaped by snowmelt currents. Their colors vary: deep green, smoky gray, pale rosa palette chosen by mineral composition and time. These stones were once sharp, jagged pieces broken violently from cliffs above, and now they are softened, rounded, held. The mountains surrendered their fragments, and the lake shaped them with patience. In that exchange, something universal becomes clear. Nothing remains harsh forever when held by time and motion. A faint echo rolls across the valley. Not a roar, but a soft, resonant tremor, as if the planet is shifting slightly in its sleep. The sound blends with the gentle wind, creating a layered sonic texture like underwater reverb. The world around you hums with presence. To relax here is to listen not with ears, but with the quiet space inside your chest. Another layer of the universe is about to open as the light grows stronger, but not yet. For now, you remain in this calm basin between stone and sky, drifting deeper into the dream of the mountains. The scene opens on a soft aerial glide over the mountain range, as though you are being carried by the slow breath of the morning itself. Dawn has now fully entered the world, but gently, like light, tiptoeing across the ridges. The peaks glow with a warm, honey gold radiance, their shadows stretching long and cool across the valleys. There is a serenity in this moment that feels ancient, as if these mountains have waited millions of years just to show you how calm the world can be when it stops trying to rush. Stay close to this stillness. A deeper revelation is starting to rise with the sun. The lens shifts into a slow-motion tilt, revealing a winding trail etched into the side of one mountain. It snakes upward like a pale ribbon, shaped by centuries of footsteps. Animals, explorers, wind itself, carving its own path. You follow the trail without effort, as though gravity is taking a rest today. Every step feels softer, the ground beneath you, cushioned by moss and pine needles that release a faint resinous aroma. The scent is grounding, earthy, almost like the mountain whispering, "You are safe here." A distant hawk glides across the frame wings, spread wide, circling above the valley. Its shadow passes over the rocks like a silent brushstroke. In that movement, a subtle algorithm of nature unfolds thermal columns rising from sun-warmed slopes. The physics of uplift guiding the bird without flapping its wings. Dreamy science blends with the scene, dissolving the boundary between observation and feeling. The hawk knows how to rest in motion. The mountains know how to rest in stillness. You are learning from both. As you ascend, the environment shifts. The air becomes cooler, clearer, thinner, in a way that feels almost crystalline. The camera transitions into a macro focus on a single patch of lichen clinging to a stone, a miniature forest thriving in the harshest wind. Its colors shimmer in fractal greens and yellows, tiny branches branching into smaller and smaller worlds. Biology and geology intertwine here, reminding you how life adapts not by force, but by patience. This is the Earth's slow breathing in miniature. The shot widens, revealing a field of alpine flowers scattered across the slope. Their petals tremble in a soft breeze, moving with a rhythm almost musical. You notice purples, blues, pale whites, colors you didn't expect at this altitude. The flowers look fragile, but their roots clutch tightly to the thin soil, refusing to surrender to harsh temperatures. Relaxing science whispers another truth: fragility and strength often coexist, and the mountains hold both in balance effortlessly. A soft dissolve reveals a cliff edge overlooking a vast expanse of rolling peaks. The perspective is breathtaking: waves of stone stretching into the horizon, each ridge lifting and falling like the sound of a sleeping giant. The soundtrack deepens into a low, warm hum, as if the earth itself is singing beneath the scene. This hum blends with the wind, creating an ambient drone that tugs gently at your consciousness. You feel your thoughts drifting, thinning out like clouds over the peaks. The camera lingers on a single summit. In the golden light, the mountain seems almost alive, its slopes dusted with long shadows that move with the rotation of the planet. A time lapse begins, sun sweeping across the sky clouds, forming and dissolving shadows, sliding like slow tides. The mountain remains still, yet everything dances around it. That is the paradox of giants. They are unmoving, yet always in motion. They rest by embracing change. A sudden cut, soft like a blink, brings you inside a shallow cave carved into the side of a cliff. Light pours in through a narrow opening, illuminating bands of mineral deposits layered like ancient murals. Rust-red iron, black manganese, pale streaks of calcite shimmering faintly. The walls read like a geological diary, documenting floods, droughts, volcanic ash, and the slow drip of mineral-laden water. The earth remembers everything, not through words, but through stone. Inside the cave, the acoustics shift. Your breathing becomes more noticeable, slow, rhythmic, echoing softly. The sound design wraps around you, the distant rumble of the valley, the muted whisper of wind, the gentle tap of water, droplets falling from the ceiling. It is like entering the inner chamber of the planet's mind. Here, quiet has weight. Presence has depth. Thoughts move like sediment, settling gently. A warm dissolve transitions you back outside, where sunlight now beams through thin clouds, creating shafts of gold that cut through the mountain air. Dust particles shimmer like tiny galaxies suspended in the light. Cosmic familiarity enters the scene again. These particles, bits of pollen, fragments of stone, microscopic spores, drift through the air, the same way cosmic dust drifts through star-forming nebula. The scale changes, but the choreography remains the same. The universe loves repeating its patterns. The camera gently lowers toward the ground, capturing a small stream trickling from melting snow. The water is clear, icy, sparkling, as it cascades over smooth stones. Each droplet carries the memory of glaciers, of storms, of ancient snows that fell long before humans built language. You listen to the water's quiet murmur. It is soft, comforting, rhythmic, the physics of calm itself. This is why people fall asleep to science when the subject is mountains and rivers. The sound is structured, yet random, predictable, yet soothing. It fills all the spaces anxiety leaves open. You follow the stream until it widens into a tiny waterfall, dropping into a pool. Mist rises in delicate plumes. Rainbows shimmer. Briefly, in the spray, bending sunlight into color. The emotional physics of the moment soften something inside you. Mountains are not just stone. They are machines that turn pressure into beauty, time into wisdom, stillness into refuge. Giants that learned to rest long after they finished rising. A soft anticipation cue hums beneath the next transition. A promise that something deeper waits further inside the mountain story. But it arrives quietly on its own timing. Another slow pan lifts your vision toward a massive ridge bathed in warm light. The entire landscape feels like it's breathing, expanding and contracting with the rhythm of morning. You sense you are not just observing the mountains, you are syncing with them. Your mind as a night sky, your breath as the slow wind, your thoughts as drifting clouds. Stay with this moment. A softer revelation waits in the next valley. The scene opens with a gentle descent into the next valley, as though you are drifting on a breeze shaped by the hands of time itself. The light has softened again. Not the pale blue of dawn, not the deep indigo of night, but something in between, a warm silver gold that feels like a whisper brushing across the mountains. This valley is quieter than the last. Even the wind seems to hesitate before entering, as if respecting the ancient stillness here. A softer revelation waits beneath the surface of this calm, and you feel yourself drawn toward it with effortless ease. The camera floats low over the valley floor, where a thin mist threads between clusters of evergreen trees. Their needles shimmer with dew, each droplet catching the light like tiny trembling stars. As the lens moves closer, you notice something extraordinary beneath the surface of the dew. Micro-reflections of the mountains appear miniature worlds inside each drop. You drift nearer to one droplet, entering a macro universe where surface tension forms a perfect curved mirror. This is dreamy science in its purest form, the physics of reflection, turning water into a lens capable of holding a world. The view expands again, dissolving into a wide shot. Tall cliffs rise around the valley like colossal cathedral walls, their faces textured with streaks of ancient mineral deposits. Iron-stained lines run down the stone like old tears. Quartz veins glimmer faintly as they catch the strengthening light. In these patterns lies the memory of pressure, eons of tectonic force crystallized into color. Relaxing science reveals a simple truth. Even stone records emotion, if you know how to read it. A soft rumble vibrates through the valley. It is not alarming, more like the mountain, stretching, adjusting, settling deeper into its resting posture. The sound blends with a deep, ambient drone beneath the scene, resonating in your chest the way low thunder hums inside a quiet room. This is the Earth's slow breathing again, the same calm that helps the mind slip gently toward sleep. The mountains breathe through expansion and contraction, through thermal changes, through invisible shifts in their massive bodies. To fall asleep to science is to let your inner pacing match this continental rhythm. The camera glides upward, following the slope of the valley, until you reach a ledge covered in ancient pine trees. Their trunks twist in graceful, weather-carved spirals. One tree stands taller than the rest, thick, old, its bark cracked with the intricate geometry of age. You drift toward it, and the lens shifts into a close-up. The bark's textures resemble dried riverbeds or satellite images of canyons. Each fissure tells a story of seasons endured, scorching summers, freezing winters, lightning strikes silent nights. The tree has stood here for hundreds of years, yet remains gentle, patient. Giants, whether stone or wood, all learn to rest through time. A feather-light snowfall begins, even though the sun is warm. Tiny flakes drift downward, melting the instant they touch your skin. These are not storm-born flakes. They are remnants of thin ice sheared off a high glacier by wind. The camera follows one flake's descent in slow motion. The sunlight refracts around it, creating a halo-like glow. The flake melts midway down and becomes a bead of water, falling invisibly into the valley's soil. A cycle begins again. Dreamy science tells you that nothing in nature falls alone. Every drop joins a story bigger than itself. The shot dissolves gently into a hidden meadow, tucked between two rising walls of stone. The meadow is carpeted with low shrubs and wild flowers, but the center holds something remarkable. A giant boulder, perfectly split down the middle. Each half lies beside the other, like two pieces of a quiet puzzle. The split is smooth clean, as though the stone surrendered without struggle. You drift closer, noticing the cause, a thin line of ice still clinging to the inner fracture. Water, once seeped into a hairline crack, froze, expanded, and over many winters gently pried the rock apart. Here, resting giants teach another lesson. Even the hardest things yield softly when the conditions are right. The camera slowly circles the boulder, and you see small ferns growing in the gap. Life moves into every opening, every fracture, every quiet place where stone becomes soil. Biology and geology entwine again, and the emotional physics of the moment settle deeper inside you. Perhaps this is why the mind feels safe in the presence of mountains. They show that breaking is not the end. Breaking is the beginning of softer forms. A gentle wind enters the meadow, shifting the grasses in long, rippling waves. The sound is barely audible, like someone brushing their fingers through silk. Overhead clouds drift past, casting shadows that move across the stone in slow patterns. You can almost see the passage of hours, seasons, centuries, the way mountains measure time, not in moments, but in cycles. Sleepy science narration holds you here suspended in that slow dance between light and shadow. A dream cut transports you higher up the valley, where a narrow rock bridge forms an arch between two cliffs. The camera slowly moves beneath it, as though entering a gateway. On the other side, the world opens suddenly, a vast basin carved by ancient glaciers, its floor filled with luminous blue ice. The ice gleams with an inner glow, reflecting the sky like polished glass. This is where the mountains keep their oldest memories, in frozen archives, layered with trapped air, ancient dust, and faint echoes of climates long gone. You approach the ice, and the camera shifts to reveal trapped bubbles suspended in clear layers. Each bubble is a tiny time capsule. Scientists call them atmospheric fossils. You gently glide along the surface and see faint streaks of volcanic ash pollen from vanished forests, dust blown from deserts that no longer exist. Relaxing science becomes time travel, soft and profound. The ice does not shout its history. It whispers it, a soft anticipation cue hums at the edge of your awareness again. Another layer is ready to unfold, but the mountains do not rush. They never have. A warm breeze sweeps through the basin, causing thin crystals on the ice surface to shimmer. Light refracts in angles that look vaguely celestial, as if stars are hiding under the glacier, waiting for someone to notice their glow. The cinematic physics layer awakens here. The interaction of light and crystalline ice casts patterns like constellations beneath your feet. The universe repeats itself even in frozen water. You take one last drift across the ice field. The air smells clean, impossibly clean. The scent of untouched snow and stillness older than human language. Your breath slows. Your shoulders loosen. The scene expands outward, revealing the entire valley bathed in pale gold and blue. Everything is resting. Everything is waiting. Everything is quietly alive. A softer revelation is forming in the high peaks ahead, but it will reveal itself only in the next part of the journey. The scene opens with a soft fade in from white, as if your eyes are adjusting to a brightness found only high above the world. The camera floats upward, leaving the glacier basin below and rising toward peaks carved by wind, snow, and time. The air becomes thinner, crisper, shimmering, with tiny particles of ice carried by a gentle alpine breeze. Each particle catches the light like a floating ember. The mountains ahead glow with a soft platinum sheen, as though they were brushed with the first light ever created. Stay with this ascent. Another layer of the universe is waking slowly, and it wants you to arrive without hurry. As the camera climbs, the colors deepen into cooler tones, slate blues, pale violets, ghostly silver, shadows stretching along ridges. You drift into this palette as though entering a dream painted in mineral hues. The world feels lighter here, quieter, as if the mountains themselves respect the silence at this altitude. Even the wind whispers instead of speaking. You can almost sense the boundary where the Earth's slow breathing meets the thin, cold lungs of the sky. A soft tilt downward reveals a ledge sprinkled with frost, flowers, delicate ice formations that bloom when moisture meets freezing air. Each frost flower curls into fragile, white petals, made entirely of ice. They look impossibly intricate, almost sentient, like tiny breathing sculptures. As the camera moves in for a macro view, you see patterns that mimic coral reefs galaxies, snowflakes, all repeating motifs of the universe. Dreamy science reminds you nature doesn't create randomly. It echoes itself through fractals, symmetry, and the physics of quiet repetition. The shot widens. A towering cliff face rises beside you, layered with dark basalt and shimmering quartz veins. The quartz glints with a pale golden glow as sunlight refracts through it. These crystals formed millions of years ago in pockets of the Earth's crust, emerging from molten solutions into solid clarity. Quartz is time made visible, pressure made beautiful. You drift closer, noticing tiny inclusions trapped inside the crystal, microscopic bubbles, flecks of ancient minerals, faint threads of other worlds. Every crystal carries the memory of the planet's interior, frozen into light. The camera dissolves into a new perspective, standing on a narrow ridge, looking down into a chasm so deep it seems to swallow sound. A soft, almost musical wind rises from below, creating a resonant hum through the stone. The mountains become instruments, each crack and canyon shaping airflow into a low, continuous note. This is the mountain's voice, not loud, not dramatic, but constant grounding. This sound has existed long before human ears. Perhaps this is why it soothes the mind so deeply. To fall asleep to science is to listen to forces that existed before fear ever entered the world. A gentle camera pan moves toward a snowfield stretched across the upper slopes. The snow is untouched, smooth, like a sheet of white silk. But beneath the surface lies a hidden world, layers of compacted crystals, each one shaped by wind direction, temperature, shifts and storms long forgotten. You drift through a cross-section in a dream-cut sequence, seeing the layered history of winter stacked like soft pages. In one layer, tiny shards of volcanic dust sparkle. In another, pollen from distant valleys. In another, thin films of atmospheric ice that formed under specific moonlit nights. Relaxing science becomes almost meditative, the realization that even snow holds memories. The scene transitions to a rocky outcrop, where strange shapes emerge from the surface. Ventifact's stones, carved by the wind into sharp, sculpted forms. They look like natural sculptures, twisted in elegant curves. The lens circles around them, slowly revealing aerodynamic shapes created not by hands, but by centuries of airborne sand and ice. Even here, in places where no tree grows and no river runs, The forces of the world continue, shaping, refining, resting, reshaping. Giants do not need motion to change time, does the carving for them. A subtle anticipation echo hums beneath the narrative again. Another revelation is drifting closer, like a cloud approaching a peak. The camera lifts its gaze toward the summit. The peak rises sharply, its edges illuminated by the soft white fire of sunlight diffused through thin clouds. The closer you get, the quieter everything becomes, until the only sound left is your own breath, slow, steady, syncing with the mountain's rhythm. The emotional physics layer deepens. Thoughts grow thinner, clearer, like the air. Worries lose their weight at this altitude. The mind becomes spacious, open, like the sky that envelops you. You reach a narrow saddle between two peaks. The view opens into an endless panorama, ridges overlapping like ripples on a pond. Clouds drifting below you, sunlight scattering into iridescent halos around ice crystals suspended in the air. For a moment, you feel as though you are standing on the spine of the planet. Everything below looks calm. Everything above looks infinite. You are held between the two, grounded and weightless at the same time. A dream cut shifts you slightly forward in time. The sun has climbed higher, casting a warm brilliance across the upper slopes. The snow sparkles with a million tiny reflections, each one flickering like a star. This star field isn't above you. It's beneath your feet. Cosmic familiarity pulses through the moment. The same forces that carve mountains also shape galaxies. The same laws of light that make stars glow cause snow crystals to shimmer. The universe repeats itself everywhere, quietly, patiently. You drift toward a cornice, a gracefully curved wave of wind-sculpted snow. The underside glows faint blue, the top pure white. It looks like a frozen crest of an ocean wave caught mid-motion. Light passes through its translucent edges, revealing swirls and layers that resemble distant nebulae. A gentle fragment of science whispers through the seen air currents, and snow crystals follow patterns similar to plasma flows in star-forming regions. Here, on a silent mountain peak, you are walking through echoes of cosmic processes slowed to a human pace. A soft dissolve brings you to the summit itself, a flat, wind-swept platform made of dark, ancient stone. From here, the mountains unfold in every direction. You see their rising spines, their deep valleys, their quiet basins, their sleeping glaciers. Everything moves slowly. Everything rests with purpose. You breathe in the cold air and feel it settle deeply inside you, clearing space, loosening tension, grounding your mind in the present moment. The scene holds for a long, quiet beat. Then a warm breeze rises unexpectedly, carrying flecks of snow in swirling coils. The snow dances in spirals, catching the light like silver dust. The choreography feels tensional, almost ceremonial, as though the mountain is welcoming you into its stillness. The breeze wraps around you gently, and you sense something shifting inside the narrative. A new depth forming a new door opening. A softer and more luminous revelation is waiting just beyond the next ridge. The scene opens with a slow golden drift along the spine of the mountain, as though the world itself is gliding forward on a breath warmer than the air around it. The summit behind you fades into a soft blur, dissolving into the haze of morning light. Ahead lies a new ridge, wide, gentle, almost glowing. The camera moves toward it with the quiet momentum of a dream, each frame warmer than the last. Something is shifting here, not in motion, but in meaning. Another layer of the universe is preparing to reveal itself. As you drift down the ridge, the color palette shifts into warmer tones: honey, gold, soft, amber, faint rose. The rocks beneath your feet reflect these colors, as though the light is entering them from within. These stones are older than mountains themselves, fragments of the Earth's crust forged in the earliest chapters of the planet. Some contain flecks of garnet that sparkle like tiny embers. Others hold veins of mica that shimmer like metallic feathers. A macro close-up reveals layers folded like pages in a book written by heat and pressure. You run your attention across the grain, and in that moment, the earth feels almost alive, not in motion, but in memory. A gentle wind flows along the ridge, its sound faint and melodic. It carries hints of pine resin, cold stone, and distant snow. You breathe it in, and your chest feels lighter. The mountains have a way of rearranging the atmosphere itself, filtering it through altitude, through silence, through the emotional physics of stillness. You feel a sense of clarity rising inside you, the kind that only appears when the mind is finally allowed to slow to the speed of nature. The camera pans toward a cluster of ancient rocks stacked unintentionally into a natural cairn. These stones were placed by no hand. Frost heave, wind gravity, the slow, patient sculptors of the high places arranged them over centuries. The formation resembles a crude tower, leaning slightly yet perfectly balanced. You drift closer. Each stone is etched with tiny patterns left by lichen growth. Frost cracks and microscopic mineral blooms. Dreamy science hums beneath the moment life and non-life blur together here. Stone hosts life. Life etches stone. Time binds them both. A soft dissolve brings you to the edge of a high plateau overlooking a valley of shifting colors. The slopes below are covered not with grass or trees, but with bands of different minerals. Rust-red iron, oxide, pale yellow. Sulfur deposits deep cobalt patches formed by copper-rich beds. The colors stretch across the land like brushstrokes on an ancient canvas. This is a mineral mosaic painted by hydrothermal systems long vanished. Even absence leaves beauty behind. The camera gently tilts downward, showing a series of terraced rock layers shaped by freeze-thaw cycles. Water once pooled on these terraces, freezing into patterned ice. When it melted, it left behind delicate lines, like the veins on a leaf. You drift closer, and the textures feel strangely familiar, like river deltas seen from above, or lightning branching across the sky, or neural pathways lighting up inside a dreaming mind. The universe doesn't just echo its patterns, it leaves them everywhere for those willing to look slowly enough. The soundtrack deepens with a warm, resonant hum. It blends with the wind, forming a tone that feels like being held. The mountains do not speak in language, yet their frequency speaks directly to something inside you. This is the physics of calm. Low-frequency vibrations soothe the nervous system, loosening mental tension the way water smooths stone. To fall asleep to science is to let these resonances work quietly in the background. You drift farther along the ridge until the scene opens into something unexpected. A massive amphitheater carved naturally into the mountain, shaped like a colossal bowl. The inner walls are smooth, curving inward and lined with streaks of pinkish granite. Snow lies nestled at the bottom, catching the light like a soft cushion. This place feels sacred, as though the mountain built it for silence alone. Even the wind avoids entering. Sound falls away. Breath becomes the only measurable rhythm. A slow zoom reveals faint lines etched into the granite walls, glacial striations. Long ago, vast rivers of ice moved through this amphitheater, dragging rocks that carved parallel grooves into the surface. These lines are the handwriting of glaciers, patient, heavy, inevitable. You run your attention along one groove, imagining the force that made it. Millions of tons of ice moving so slowly, it felt like stillness. Giants resting while shaping the world. A dream cut shifts you to the center of the amphitheater. The snow beneath you glows faintly blue from compressed ice. Blue light is the last to be absorbed, the first to shine through. You kneel, or rather, the viewpoint lowers, and you see the crystalline structure of the snow, each flake fused into a tiny lattice. Inside those lattices, ancient air is trapped, forming tiny pockets of history. You listen, and the sound is like breathing through silk, soft, even, steady. A soft anticipation cue glows beneath the moment. Stay with the quiet edge. Something vast is rising in the narrative. The camera lifts slowly from the amphitheater floor and begins to ascend the inner wall. The climb is effortless, as though gravity has loosened its grip. When you reach the rim, the world beyond expands like a slow-motion reveal. The far horizon glows with warm light. Clouds gather in a swirling formation, each layer moving at a different speed. Sunbeams pierce through gaps, forming long golden rays that touch distant peaks like gentle fingertips. A solitary rock formation rises ahead, a monolith shaped by wind erosion into a slender spire. It stands alone, tall, defiant, but peaceful. The lens circles around it, revealing smooth curves carved by centuries of storms. The monolith seems almost alive, like a guardian of the ridge. You drift closer, and the spire vibrates subtly in the wind, producing a faint, flute-like resonance. The sound blends with the ambient hum, turning the scene into a natural symphony. The camera pans to reveal an even greater vista. A series of mountain layers fading into the horizon, each one more translucent, more dreamlike than the last. They look like brushstrokes of blue and silver, stacked one behind the other. This depth, this perspective, this slow unfolding of space feels like stepping into a cosmic lullaby. The Earth's slow breathing moves through the landscape like a steady pulse. The scene lingers, breathing with you. You stand or float at the threshold of something deeper, something more luminous, hiding beyond the next set of peaks. A softer revelation is waiting in the high altitudes ahead. The scene opens in a slow upward tilt, revealing a new elevation where the air itself seems woven from light. The ridge behind you dissolves into soft haze, and ahead rises a world shaped not by force, but by quiet persistence. The camera glides forward, as though carried on a warm, ancient exhale. The sky shifts into pale gold near the sun and fades into deep, serene cobalt. Overhead, a gradient so vast, it feels like standing inside a cathedral carved from air. Something in this altitude makes the world feel weightless. Something in this moment invites you deeper. A subtle descending chime enters the soundscape, like the soft vibration of icicles touched by sunlight. It blends with the mountain wind to create a tone both physical and distant, as though coming from the bones of the earth. This is the acoustic signature of high altitudes, thin air, brushing stone edges, creating a sound delicate enough to calm the mind into stillness. The emotional physics layer deepens. Thoughts loosen their grip, drifting like frost blown from a peak. The camera pans toward a series of pinnacles, rising like stone fingers pointing at the sky. They are narrow, twisted, almost sculptural, each one carved by centuries of freezing and thawing, by storms that arrived with dignity rather than fury. You drift closer, revealing ice clinging to their sides in thin, translucent sheets. The ice catches sunlight and shatters it into tiny shards of rainbow. These iridescent glints ripple across the stone, turning the scene into a slow dance of color. Dreamy science whispers, this is thin film interference, a phenomenon where light waves overlap in delicate patterns, painting the world with soft, unexpected hues. The viewpoint shifts into a close-up of a small hollow between two pinnacles. Inside, sheltered from the wind, grows a cluster of tiny alpine plants. Their leaves are small, thick, covered in soft, hair-like fibers that protect them from the cold. The camera lingers on the details, how the leaves curl inward to conserve heat, how the stems bend but do not break under frost. Life here is fragile, yet fierce, not in spite of the cold, but because of it. The mountains teach another lesson. Rest is not the absence of difficulty, but the ability to remain steady in its presence. A soft dissolve transitions the scene to an immense cirque, a bowl-shaped amphitheater carved by ancient glaciers far larger than the one before. Its walls rise in sweeping arcs layered with bands of dark basalt, pale granite, and shimmering schist. The sunlight grazes the walls at a low angle, making each mineral sparkle in a different way. The entire formation looks like a massive geological mandala. You feel your breath slow as your eyes trace the natural symmetry. A flock of small birds suddenly appears, rising from the cirque floor in a swirling, coordinated motion. Their wings catch the light, turning them into flickering sparks. They fly in a pattern almost mathematical, shifting, dividing, merging, as though following a hidden formula. In a way they are. Murmuration, dynamics, the physics of flocking behavior, where each bird responds to the movement of only a few neighbors, creating a collective intelligence. The mountains are full of such quiet algorithms, each one a form of relaxing science that invites the mind to rest inside something larger than itself. The shot shifts higher, revealing a solitary glacier clinging to the north face of a towering peak. Its surface is marked with deep blue cracks and sinuous white ridges. Time-lapse dissolves into the scene. The glacier shifts slightly, its surface creaking in slow motion, sending faint echoes through the valley. These are glacial murmurs, low-frequency vibrations traveling through ice and rock. Each crack is a reminder that even slow things move. Even frozen things breathe. The camera moves across the icy surface, revealing pools of meltwater, glowing turquoise beneath the sun. The color is so vivid, it feels unreal. But it is simply physics. Water absorbs red light first, leaving only the pure blues behind. The pools shimmer, reflecting the mountains like dreams held in cold water. A gentle breeze blows across one pool, sending ripples outward. You follow them, watching how each ripple distorts the reflection of the sky until it slowly reforms again. The earth teaches that nothing stays broken for long. A soft anticipation cue hums, pulling you gently toward something awaiting beyond the glacier. You drift along a narrow ridge, connecting the glacier to a plateau of smooth, wind-polished rock. Here the rock glows warm in the sunlight, its surface covered in tiny striations, carved by grains of ice and sand carried by storms long past. The striations run in parallel lines, like the soft grooves of a vinyl record. You imagine the mountain recording the songs of storms, playing them back through the wind. A dream cut shifts the perspective to a sheltered alcove in the rock, where ancient pictographs are faintly visible. Not human-made patterns formed by mineral oxidation and creeping lichen. They look like symbols, like a coded language written by the mountain itself. Rust-red lines branch outward like neural pathways. Pale gray circles resemble planetary orbits. Jagged black edges hint at lightning pathways. The universe leaves signatures everywhere, even in stone, even in silence. The camera slowly rises from the alcove and turns toward the horizon. The sky darkens, not with storm, but with height, transitioning from pale blue to midnight azure. The thin air scatters less light, revealing the curvature of the day. Sunlight reflects off distant snowfields like molten silver. Shadows stretch across peaks in long, delicate arcs. Everything feels slower here, wider, more patient. You drift forward into another ridge where snow meets rock in swirling shapes sculpted by winter winds. Snowdrifts curve like the waves of a frozen ocean, their edges crisp and glowing. You can almost see the wind's choreography frozen in place, the rise, the dip, the twist. Every shape in the drift mimics a gesture found in rivers, clouds, galaxies. The universe loves repeating its motions, whether in water or air, or the spiral of a distant star system. The soundtrack deepens into a warm, layered chord. It feels like standing inside the resonance of the planet, wrapped by sound rather than air. A gentle tremor passes through the rock beneath you, a reminder that the mountains are not monuments, but momentary forms in an eternal process. Even giants rest by moving slowly. The camera tilts upward. Clouds begin forming at the very edge of a distant peak, a swirl of silver vapor that looks almost conscious, almost aware. High-altitude clouds form swiftly, shaped by pressure differences and rising air. But here, they take on a dreamlike quality, moving in spirals that echo the shapes of ancient storms long erased. Stay in this altitude a moment longer. The air is thinner, but the silence is deeper. Your thoughts drift wide and slow. Everything becomes clearer, softer. A more luminous revelation is gathering beyond those clouds, waiting patiently for your arrival in the next part. The scene opens with a gentle fade through the high-altitude clouds, as though you are passing through a veil woven from cold sunlight and drifting crystalline vapor. For a moment, everything is white, soft, luminous, almost weightless. Then the light thins, and the world beneath you slowly reveals itself, a vast terrace of stone shaped by 1,000 years of wind, appearing like an island rising from a glowing sea. The clouds swirl around its edges like silver tides. The air here feels still sacred, as though this place exists outside the pace of ordinary time. A softer revelation begins forming at the edges of your awareness. The camera glides forward, breaking through the last wisps of cloud to unveil a plateau shimmering in warm, gentle gold. The stone surface is polished smooth by centuries of wind-driven ice crystals. It reflects the sky faintly, creating the illusion that you are standing on a horizon made of quiet light. When the lens tilts downward, you notice intricate ripple marks etched into the stone patterns left long ago by an ancient glacial lake that once covered this place. The lake is gone, but its signature remains carved into the mountain like the memory of a vanished dream. A faint bell-like tone enters the background, produced by the wind passing through tiny cracks in the rock. The sound is thin, melodic, almost metallic. Each note is shaped by the mountain's architecture, turning the landscape into an instrument tuned by nature. Relaxing science hums beneath the moment Aeolian tones, the physics of wind-driven resonance. But here in this altitude, the explanation feels less like a fact and more like a lullaby whispered through stone. The camera drifts toward the edge of the plateau, where a series of stone columns rise like ancient guardians. They are tall, slender, each capped with a small ledge of harder rock that protected the softer layers beneath from erosion. These are hoodoos, natural sculptures created by time and patience. Their shapes are surreal, almost otherworldly, as though the mountain invited geometry to play in its heights. You float between them, noticing how each pillar holds a unique pattern: spirals, waves, vertical striations. They stand like silent monks carved by the hand of wind. A soft dissolve reveals a narrow passage where the sun's angle creates a glowing corridor of warm amber light. Dust dances inside it like drifting gold. You enter the corridor, and the light wraps around you, shifting the emotional palette of the scene. Warmth enters the cold altitude. Softness enters the rugged stone. This interplay of contrasts, cold air, warm light, ancient stone, young atmosphere creates a cinematic balance that quiets the mind. The mountains are teaching gently that harmony is not stillness, but coexistence. At the far end of the passage, the landscape opens into a wide saddle between two massive peaks. The saddle floor is covered in small, translucent stones that glimmer like pieces of frozen moonlight. They are not ice. They are clear quartz fragments, polished by centuries of snowmelt. A macro zoom reveals internal fractures inside each crystal, tiny rainbows formed by sunlight bending through microscopic planes. These fractures are not flaws. They are memories of pressure moments when the stone shifted and adapted. The mountains carry their past not as burden, but as light. The camera pans upward, showing the twin peaks guarding the saddle. One peak is jagged, shadowed, holding on to snow in deep creases. The other is smoother, sunlit, with warm hues reflecting off granite walls. Two personalities, two histories, yet both belong to the same spine of Earth, shaped by the same deep forces. You drift between them, and for a moment, it feels like passing between two ancient beings in silent conversation. A sudden gust of wind rises swirling snow and quartz dust into the air. The particles catch the sunlight, creating a halo-like ring of shimmering silver. Inside the halo, the world seems quieter, softer. Your breath slows to match the rhythm of the drifting particles. This is the Earth's slow breathing, made visible the way wind, light, and matter come together in effortless harmony. To fall asleep to science is to let these harmonies settle into your own breath. A dream cut carries you forward to a small alpine tarn nestled between the peaks. The water is impossibly clear, so transparent. It looks like liquid sky collected in a bowl of stone. The surface is perfectly still, reflecting the mountains in flawless symmetry. You drift closer, and the reflection begins to ripple as a faint breeze touches the surface. The mountains distort, bend, and then slowly reassemble themselves. The lake teaches another lesson of giants. Even reflections break gently. Even distortions return to calm. The camera lowers until your view is just above the water. Beneath the surface lies a mosaic of stones: green serpentinite, deep blue, slate, pale pink, granite, smoky obsidian. Each stone has journeyed from different depths of the Earth's interior. Some were born from ancient volcanic eruptions, others from metamorphic transformations beneath crushing pressure. They lie together, now, in peace, held still beneath water, as clear as memory. A soft anticipation cue rises again, guiding you deeper. Stay present. Something luminous is approaching. As the camera lifts away from the tarn, the sun reaches a perfect angle above the peaks. Light spills over the crest, forming long beams that shine down like gentle pillars. These beams illuminate airborne crystals, making them sparkle like drifting galaxies. The cinematic physics layer activates fully. The dance of light and ice becomes a slow-motion cosmic ballet. High-altitude cirrus clouds catch the sunlight and create faint halos around the sun, circular arcs of pale silver suspended in the sky. The effect is ethereal, almost holy. The mountains shift gently in color as the sun continues rising. Cooler, shadows, fading warm gold flooding the stone. The soundscape deepens, adding a low, resonant hum that vibrates against your chest like distant thunder, slowed to a heartbeat. This is the resonance of deep rock layers warming under the sun, expanding microscopically, releasing faint vibrations that echo across the ridge. You drift upward, following a narrow path that curves toward a higher peak. The air thins further. The silence grows deeper. The world grows smaller beneath you and wider above you. Here, altitude becomes a kind of meditation, thinning everything that clutters the mind. The camera pauses at a small overhang where wind has carved a hole in the rock. Through the opening, you see a perfectly framed view of the world below. Valleys, ridges, clouds, all arranged like layers of an ancient map. Light filters through the opening, projecting its shape onto the ground as a soft golden shadow. This natural window feels intentional, like a quiet invitation to look both inward and outward. Everything here breathes slower. Everything here rests deeper. And something brighter is gathering on the horizon, preparing to reveal itself. A softer, deeper revelation waits in the high sky beyond the next ridge. The scene opens with an ascent so gentle it feels like drifting through the memory of air. You rise from the saddle of the twin peaks, moving toward a higher ridge where the world transitions from earthly silence to something closer to celestial breath. The light shifts again from warm amber to a pale pearlescent glow, the kind of illumination that seems to come from everywhere at once. Clouds form thin, delicate ribbons that unfurl across the sky like brush strokes of silver silk. You sense the altitude increasing, not through pressure, but through stillness. Even the wind grows thoughtful here. The camera glides along the spine of the ridge, revealing a landscape shaped by frost, sun, and unimaginable time. The rocks become smoother, more sculpted, almost polished by the thin air. Frost crystals cling to their surfaces in feathery patterns, dendrites branching like tiny white trees. A macro close-up shows the intricate symmetry of each crystal, repeating the same geometry found in river systems, lightning bolts, and the branching of neurons in a dreaming mind. Dreamy science whispers quietly. Nature loves fractals because they echo efficiency, balance, beauty. The shot widens. A vast snowfield opens before you, stretching like a sheet of pure light. The surface isn't flat. It ripples subtly, shaped by wind into soft dunes. The dunes curve in elegant arcs, their edges glowing faint blue where the snow thins over underlying ice. As the camera glides across the snow, sunlight scatters in delicate sparkles like stars caught in white velvet. The sound becomes quieter, deeper, a faint hush of wind, a soft shimmer of snow crystals moving under their own weight. The earth has reduced its voice to a whisper. A gentle dissolve reveals a dark rock outcrop rising from the snowfield like an island. The rock is ancient, more weathered than anything you've seen so far. Its surface is etched with deep grooves, angled diagonally, carved by glaciers that once passed over it with immense slow pressure. These striations point toward a forgotten direction, a path the ice took long before humans had eyes to witness it. The rock holds the memory of movement embedded like a scar that has learned to become wisdom. You drift closer, tracing the grooves with your attention, feeling the patience of deep time. The camera lifts again, revealing a circling bird high above, not soaring in search of prey, but gliding effortlessly in the thermal winds rising from sunlit stone. Its wings barely move. It ascends with grace, letting invisible currents carry it toward the higher sky. The emotional physics of the scene deepen. Rest does not always mean stillness. Sometimes, rest is surrender to motion that carries you without effort. A dream cut shifts to a crevasse splitting the snowfield. Its walls descend into deep blue, fading from ice white at the top to sapphire at the depths. The camera approaches cautiously, then dips just far enough inside to reveal delicate structures of layered ice. Some layers contain fractured bubbles that sparkle like constellations. Others hold tiny lines of mineral dust from storms centuries old. Light filters through the ice above, casting shifting blue shadows that move like liquid. This is the Earth's memory, frozen in place, a time capsule of ancient atmospheres, storms, volcanic ash, pollen, and forgotten winters. Relaxing science turns into quiet archaeology. A soft, harmonic tone enters vibrating through the scene like a gentle chord. It comes from wind traveling through the crevasse's narrow opening. The pitch rises and lowers depending on the breeze, forming a natural Aeolian instrument. The mountain hums a song of ice and air, soothing and patient. The mind settles into its rhythm without effort. The camera emerges from the crevasse and continues upward toward a higher plateau where the snow thins and stone emerges again. Here the rock is smoother shaped, by eons of freeze-thaw cycles. Glossy patches of ice cling to it, reflecting the sky. You drift over these surfaces, watching your reflection distort and reform in shimmering fragments. The mountain becomes a quiet mirror. At the edge of the plateau stands a peculiar formation, a natural stone arch sculpted by wind erosion. It rises gracefully, framing the sky beyond like a gateway into another world. Sunlight passes through the arch, projecting its shape onto the snow in a golden shadow. You drift beneath it, and as you pass through the world, opens a panoramic view of a valley suspended between high peaks. Mist floats above the valley floor, glowing with subtle iridescence as sunlight refracts through frozen droplets. A soft anticipation cue glimmers at the edge of the moment. Something luminous is forming. The camera lowers toward the valley, unveiling vast fields of snow and stone, interspersed with frozen lakes that reflect the sky in perfect clarity. One lake stands out, a circular basin of turquoise ice ringed by dark rock. Its surface holds faint cracks shaped like branching trees, created when temperature fluctuations fractured the ice at just the right angle. These patterns resemble neural networks, river deltas, lightning, the branching of coral. Everywhere you look, the universe draws the same shapes again and again. You hover over the turquoise ice, and the sunlight catches it at the perfect angle to create a halo of pale blue fire around its edges. The cinematic physics layer deepens light, interacting with frozen water, creates a scene reminiscent of distant nebula. You are looking at cosmic patterns imprinted onto Earth's quiet skin. A dream cut transitions the scene to higher air once more. Clouds gather around the peak ahead, forming swirling spirals that drift upward in slow motion. These spirals are gravity waves, atmospheric ripples caused by wind flowing over the mountain. They appear like slow-motion galaxies suspended in the sky. The mind, recognizing something familiar, relaxes further. Cosmic familiarity softens the edges of consciousness. The camera ascends through the spiraling clouds. Above them, the world shifts into a breathtaking realm, an untouched, high alpine plain, bathed in luminous sunlight, as though the earth saved its brightest secret for those who reach its quietest heights. The snow sparkles like crushed diamonds. The air glows faintly gold. The silence feels alive. Everything here rests deeply. The stone, the snow, the air, even the light itself. And in this stillness, a deeper revelation begins gathering behind the next rise in the terrain. Something older, calmer, more universal than anything seen so far. The scene opens with a slow glide over the luminous high Alpine plain, the kind of place that feels like it exists between worlds, too quiet for the ordinary earth, too warm for the cold vacuum of the sky. Light spreads across the snow in soft gradients, shifting between pale gold, icy blue, and a faint rose hue that comes and goes like a breath. Here the air feels thin but gentle, as though it arrived from the dawn of time, carrying warmth in its atoms. The landscape ahead is smooth, sculpted by silence, waiting for you to arrive. A deeper revelation is beginning to pulse beneath the surface of the moment. The camera drifts toward a slope of crystalline snow that curves downward into a wide basin. The snow here is finer than anywhere else, powder-like, shimmering, as though each grain contains its own tiny star. When sunlight touches the surface, faint rainbow halos appear, bending around your view like fragments of a dream. A macro close-up reveals each snow crystal, perfect hexagons, elongated needles, branching dendrites. Their shapes reflect the exact temperature and humidity of the air at the moment of their birth. Dreamy science whispers each flake is a diary entry of the sky. The shot widens again, revealing the basin at the bottom of the slope. Steam rises from the ground in curling ribbons. For a moment, it looks like breath lifting from the Earth's lungs. As you drift closer, you realize the steam comes from tiny geothermal vents scattered across the basin, warm spots where heat from deep beneath the crust escapes into the cold Alpine air. These vents shimmer with soft light, their warmth creating halos in the mist. The contrast is breathtaking snow and fire ice and heat, all existing in peaceful equilibrium. Even opposites learn to rest together here. A gentle dissolve reveals cracks in the snow surrounding the vents. In some places, the cracks glow faintly, amber, illuminated from below by the geothermal warmth. These lines resemble constellations drawn across white parchment. The emotional physics layer intensifies warmth, rising through cold silence, layered over motion, the mountain speaking in subtle gradients. This is the kind of quiet that rewires the nervous system, slowing thoughts to the speed of the earth itself. A soft rumble vibrates beneath the snow, not violent, not threatening, more like a deep sigh. The camera dips lower to reveal subtle shifts in the venting. steam, small bursts of warmth pulsing upward in time with the deep sound. This is not an eruption. It is the release of pent-up geothermal energy, adjusting through micro-fractures in the rock. The earth breathes in many ways, and one of them is through heat, escaping in soft, invisible waves. You drift along the basin floor until the view transitions into a hidden grotto carved into the rock wall. Light pours into the grotto from above, refracting through icicles hanging like chandeliers. Each icicle holds ancient air trapped inside long frozen cylinders of glass-like clarity. When the wind passes through the grotto, the icicles vibrate slightly, producing faint chimes, the mountain's crystalline music. The soundscape blends these chimes with a deeper ambient hum, creating a natural lullaby that settles beautifully into the corners of your consciousness. The camera glides deeper into the grotto, revealing mineral deposits on the walls. Bands of pale green serpentine, rust-red hematite, soft pink feldspar. Some minerals glow faintly under the filtered light, creating an ethereal palette that feels like nature's stained glass. You begin to notice gentle patterns, swirling shapes formed by mineral-rich water that once flowed through this chamber, evaporating slowly and leaving behind rings, spirals, arcs. The grotto is a gallery of slow creation, each piece sculpted by patience. A dream cut shifts the perspective outward again, showing a narrow passage that leads out of the grotto and into another high terrace. The terrace is covered in wind-sculpted snow, ripples, delicate peaks, and troughs that mirror the patterns of sand dunes in distant deserts. Even here, the mountain repeats universal shapes. Snow behaves like sand, like water, like gas, clouds drifting through cosmic space. Everything follows the same choreography, only at different tempos. A soft anticipation cue rises beneath the scene, glowing at the edges of your attention. Something older and more luminous lies beyond the next rise. The camera ascends the terrace, revealing scattered boulders protruding from the snow. These boulders are erratics, massive stones carried here long ago by glaciers and dropped gently when the ice retreated. Some are granite, some basalt, some contain minerals that don't belong to this mountain at all. They are travelers, geological migrants. You drift around one enormous boulder, noticing deep striations on its sides, lines carved during its long ride within ancient ice. Even stone remembers its journey. The shot widens and tilts toward the sky. Thin cirrus clouds stretch in delicate filaments across the heavens, glowing with faint iridescence. The color shifts from silver to pale gold to a soft, greenish hue. These colors come from ice crystals high in the atmosphere, bending sunlight at precise angles. Atmospheric optics painting fleeting rainbows across the cold sky. This is relaxing science at its most gentle facts that feel like poetry. The camera glides higher into a small wind-carved hollow in the rock. Within it lies a patch of ancient moss growing improbably in a cradle of warmth created by reflected sunlight. The moss is deep, emerald dense, soft, holding tiny droplets of water on its surface. A macro close-up reveals each droplet acting as a lens, magnifying the minute landscape within the moss microforests of branching filaments, microscopic bubbles of air, tiny grains of mineral dust. The universe repeats itself at every scale. A warm beam of light enters the hollow at just the right angle, illuminating the moss in a halo of soft gold. The emotional physics layer swells gently. This tiny patch of life is a miracle of patience, surviving in an environment where almost nothing else grows. Rest here is an act of endurance, shaped by silence. You drift upward again, leaving the hollow behind. The camera pulls back to reveal the entire high Alpine region, from above snowfields, ridges, steam vents, stone arches, frozen lakes. Everything glows with a quiet inner light. Everything rests in equilibrium. The mountains are no longer just giants. They are sleeping constellations, carved into the earth. The soundtrack deepens, layering a faint, ethereal hum beneath a soft chime. The world feels suspended in a state between dreaming and waking. Ahead, rising just beyond the next slope, something brighter begins to glow, a place where the mountains reveal their oldest secret. A softer, more ancient revelation waits beyond the next ascent. The scene opens with a slow ascending drift toward the next rise of the mountain, where something bright glows through the thin veil of high-altitude air. The light is unusual, not the warm amber of dawn, nor the icy blue glare of midday snow. It is softer, whiter, as though the mountain itself reflects a memory rather than the sun. The camera glides forward, gently wrapped in this pale luminosity, and each frame feels like entering a secret that has been waiting through millions of winters for someone to arrive without rush, without noise, without expectation. As you crest the rise, the source of the glow reveals itself, a vast wind-swept plain where the ground is covered not with snow, but with frost so dense it forms a seamless sheet of crystalline white. The frost sparkles with an ethereal radiance, scattering sunlight into countless miniature rainbows. A macro close-up shows the frost crystals are elongated columns, needle ice formed on nights when the ground's warmth rises into freezing air. Each crystal stands upright like a tiny shard of glass, and together they create a surface that glitters like crushed diamonds. Dreamy science murmurs, needle ice grows from below, not above. The earth pushes its own frozen breath into the morning. The camera tilts down, catching a ripple of movement across the frost, not from wind, but from light itself. As the sun shifts behind a thin cloud, diffraction spreads colors across the frost field in shimmering waves. Pale greens, lavender blues, soft corals. The emotional physics layer deepens. You feel your breath slow, your awareness widen, as though the mountain is showing you how the world looks when seen through the eyes of something ancient. A gentle rumble trembles beneath your feet, faint, rolling like a deep chord struck somewhere within the earth's core. It vibrates through the frost, scattering tiny crystals into the air. These crystals drift upward like weightless sparks, catching the light in mesmerizing arcs. This is not tectonic unrest. It is thermal contraction, the crust adjusting to temperature shifts as the sun warms the high-altitude plain. Even mountains stretch when dawn touches their frozen skin. The camera glides deeper into the plain, passing fields of delicate frost formations that resemble coral reefs sculpted in white. Some patches rise like branching trees, others spread like feathers. These shapes form from the chaotic dance of humidity and freezing temperatures, a ballet of molecules slowed to the tempo of a resting giant. You drift between the formations, and the world feels hushed like a sanctuary built from silence itself. A soft dissolve transitions to a small depression in the frost field, where the crystals have melted into thin, glassy sheets. Beneath them lies a layer of ice so clear it looks like window pane glass. You peer through it, and beneath the transparent layer, you see a network of hairline cracks arranged in fractal patterns. These were formed by freeze-thaw cycles, when thin layers of water expanded and contracted over many nights. The cracks resemble neural pathways, branching, lightning river, deltas, universal shapes, repeating across scales. The universe draws the same map everywhere, whether in ice or synapses, or galaxies. The camera moves upward again, revealing a cluster of dark boulders breaking through the frost. Lichen patterns curl across their surfaces in swirling reds and oranges, resembling ancient cave paintings. One boulder holds a patch of Arctic moss, glowing deep green against the white frost. A macro zoom reveals its leaves are covered in minuscule droplets frozen mid-formation, tiny spheres reflecting the world upside down. An entire landscape lives inside each droplet. Relaxing science whispers microcosms hide everywhere. A dream cut transports you to the far edge of the plain, where the frost ends abruptly at the base of an enormous cliff. The cliff rises like the wall of a forgotten fortress, its surface streaked with vertical grooves carved by meltwater over centuries. Sunlight reflects off patches of embedded quartz, creating shimmering points that resemble stars pinned to stone. As the camera rises along the cliff face, the grooves become more dramatic, deep parallel channels that once carried powerful seasonal waterfalls. Each channel is now dry, polished, smooth, a fossil of flowing water. The lens ascends further until it reaches a narrow ledge. There, nestled against the rock, is a small hollow filled with ancient snow, preserved in eternal shade. The snow here is not white, but blue, a deep, otherworldly shade created by thousands of layers compressed into clarity. As you approach, light refracts through the snow, creating internal glows that shift with the angle of your gaze. This is old ice, the kind that remembers centuries, holding microscopic fragments of air older than human civilization. You look closer, and within the ice, you see tiny bubbles suspended in perfect stillness, like constellations trapped in time. A soft anticipation cue flickers in the soundtrack, leading you upward. The dream cut shifts, again lifting you above the cliff edge into a sheltered high bowl, a cirque so perfect it appears sculpted rather than natural. Its walls curve smoothly into the sky. The bowl floor is covered in snow, untouched by wind, a pristine surface glowing with faint blue fire. A single rock stands in the center, almost ceremonially placed. It is tall, slender, and polished smooth by ice. You drift toward it. Its surface carries faint striations, lines left by glaciers long vanished. The stone stands like a quiet monument to deep time. The camera circles the monolith, revealing subtle glints of embedded crystal inside. When the sunlight catches these crystals, the entire stone seems to pulse with inner light. This is not magic. This is metamorphic history minerals, restructured by intense pressure and heat, frozen now into luminous geometry. The mountain reveals itself as a vessel of ancient transformation. You drift past the monolith to the far end of the cirque, where a narrow break in the wall forms a natural gateway. Through it, the horizon glows with a strange intensity, not white, not gold, but something between. A luminous band stretches across the distant peaks, shimmering with iridescent colors. These are mother-of-pearl clouds, nacreous clouds forming in the stratosphere when the air is cold enough and thin enough to let icy particles refract sunlight long after sunset. They appear only rarely on Earth. When they do, they look like the sky remembering how to dream. The camera glides forward, and the nacreous clouds expand across your view, painting the sky in pearlescent waves. Pale pink, soft violet, gentle green, silver-tinted blue. They move slowly like oil on water, shimmering with hypnotic grace. The emotional physics layer reaches new depth. These clouds exist only at the edge of possibility, a reminder that even the coldest places can produce the most delicate beauty. The soundscape shifts into a soft, reverberating hum, blended with high, crystalline tones. The world feels translucent, open, infinite. You are standing or floating at the threshold of the mountain's oldest secret, and just beyond this glowing sky, the final revelation waits. Ancient, patient, luminous. The scene opens with a slow, luminous drift toward the band of nacreous clouds, glowing above the high peaks, their pearlescent colors rippling like the breath of the sky itself. For a moment, everything is suspended. The air, the light, even the quiet inside your chest. The mountains beneath you fade into silhouette, becoming dark shapes that hold up the shimmering vault above. You drift forward, and as you reach the crest of the ridge, the world opens into its final, most sacred space. Something ancient waits here, not hidden, but simply patient, revealed only to those who arrive slowly enough to notice. A soft dissolve draws you into a new altitude where the air feels impossibly thin and impossibly clear. The sky is so deep, it looks like liquid midnight poured across the horizon. Stars shimmer, even though it is still daytime, their light filtering through the nacreous clouds in faint, trembling points. The sun, low to the right, casts a pale gold rim around the clouds, while the rest of the sky glows in waves of pastel iridescence. Each breath you take feels like inhaling starlight softened by ice. The camera drifts forward until the nacreous clouds fill the frame. Their movement becomes slower, more fluid, like the sky is dreaming in real time. Light refracts through the thin layers of ice crystals, bending in gradients so delicate they feel like emotions rather than colors. Pale rose fades into lavender. Mint green dissolves into silver. Gold flickers at the edges, like the last warmth of a vanished fire. You can feel something shifting inside you as these colors flow across the sky, a loosening, a widening, a quieting. This is the emotional physics of light at the edge of the atmosphere. A soft sub-bass hum begins to emerge beneath the scene. Faint, deep, resonant. It vibrates through the stone beneath you, through the air, even through your breath. This is not sound in the usual sense. It is the resonance of gravity waves, rippling through the atmosphere, shaped by wind passing over the peaks. Mountains sing even when they stand still. Giants whisper even when they rest. The camera gently pans downward, revealing the highest summit in the range. A towering crown of stone rising from the earth, like the spine of an ancient titan. Snow rests on its upper slopes in sweeping curves, illuminated by the nacreous glow. The summit's shadow stretches across the valley, below long and soft, touching distant ridges with the tenderness of twilight. You drift toward the summit, moving slowly, peacefully, as though carried by a quiet, unseen current. As you approach, you notice the stone becomes smoother, almost polished, by centuries of wind at this altitude. Tiny crystals embedded within glint under the strange pearly sky. The summit looks like a celestial altar, not built, but formed by time itself. A dream cut brings you directly to the crest. The world is silent, vast, weightless. From here, you can see everything, ridges fading into the distance like ripples carved into the planet, valleys filled with mist glowing faint blue, snowfields shimmering like crushed opal, steam rising from hidden geothermal vents in soft curling threads. The nacreous clouds above drift in slow spirals, painting the sky with colors that feel like the language of ancient light. This is the moment the mountains have been guiding you toward the place where the earth feels closest to the sky, where the world's deepest stillness touches the universe's widest breadth. The camera slowly rotates, giving you a full circle of the horizon. Every direction is a different dream. To the east, long sunbeams stretch over pale snow. To the west, shadows drift in gentle gradients. To the north, distant peaks catch the nacreous glow like silver fire. To the south, clouds ripple in iridescent waves, echoing the shapes of ancient seas. You breathe. The mountain breathes with you. The earth's slow breathing moves through everything: stone, snow, wind, light, and thought. For a moment, your own mind feels like a night sky, open, quiet, infinite. The camera tilts downward, showing fissures in the summit stone. Inside those fissures lies ice that has never melted, preserved for thousands of years. When the nacreous light touches it, the ice glows faintly blue from within. These frozen veins are geological arteries, channels where meltwater once flowed, refroze, crystallized, and slowly built new structures. The mountain's memory is etched here in layers only light can read. A soft breeze rises. It carries tiny snow crystals into the air. They swirl around the summit like drifting stars. Each crystal catches the nacreous glow, scattering pastel rays in all directions. The camera follows one flake as it rises, spins, glows, and dissolves into the sky. The motion feels like time slowing down, like the mountain revealing its final secret. Even the strongest things in existence are shaped by softness. Mountains rise from pressure, but they rest through surrender. Snow sculpts stone, not with force, but with patience. Light transforms ice, not through violence, but through presence. The universe does not always move through power. More often, it moves through quiet persistence. The melody of the wind shifts, adding a high crystalline tone that feels like the sky itself is singing. The nacreous colors shimmer across the final frame like a slow-moving aurora. Everything in the scene, stone, air, frost, cloud, seems to be part of one long exhale. A soft dissolve transports you to a wider aerial view. You float above the entire mountain range. Now, the nacreous sky glowing above like a cosmic veil. The peaks appear smaller from this height, but somehow more sacred. You watch as shadows lengthen, snowfields shine, and the ridges stretch endlessly across the world like the ancient script of the earth. The soundtrack quiets into a warm, steady drone. You feel it more than hear it. You rest inside it as the world rests beneath you. The mountains learned to rest over millions of years, and now, by drifting through their story, you have learned to rest with them. A final softness settles across the scene. A glow, a breath, a silence. Let it hold you. Let it carry you. Let the universe dim gently around the edges, like the closing of a dream.